Welcome back to Laker Debaters. And right now we're going to jump into a topic that has me very excited and probably NBA fans everywhere. The NBA is back. The lockout is over. They ended it, and I could not be happier. It's going to start on Christmas Day. Christmas, the best day of the year for everybody. And now there's going to be basketball, the first opening game of the year. What do you think about that? Are you happy about that?
Oh, extremely. This is the best Christmas gift an NBA fan could really ask for. 66 games, which is a lot higher than the 0 games I thought they would have this season.
Same here.
So that's 66 more games. It's not 82, but, you know, it's not bad. And honestly, I could kind of get behind this kind of schedule. I mean, the NBA drags on, I think, a little too long. It goes 82 games, and towards the end, I'm just like, okay, you know, I get a little fatigued of it. So I think this will actually keep the NBA fresh.
Well, let's debate that. Do you think that they should start on Christmas Day from now on? I'm gonna start with that. I think they should. I think that they should always start on Christmas Day because, one, that's the biggest day of the year for the NBA anyway.
Yeah.
And does anybody really pay attention to the games in November? No, I feel like nobody starts paying attention until after Christmas. That's when it seems like, because people are like, yeah, November or whatever, you'll see who's okay, and then I'll pay attention after Christmas. So if you start on Christmas and just keep a 66-game schedule, because like you said, the season gets too long. 82 games, guys just get injured, and guys like Carmelo just don't play. So like they just take games off, and if it's 66, I think it would be better because it's a shorter season, so you'll have healthier players. So
yeah, definitely.
Like guys like Carmelo won't need to take as many games off, and it just be a huge buzz for the start of the NBA season because it's on Christmas Day, national holiday. Nobody's at work, so everybody can watch the games. True. And the slate of games they got this year is really good. It's Bulls, Lakers, Celtics, Knicks, and I think Mavericks, Heat. Like those are all marquee games.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with you part of the way. I agree that the 82-game schedule is too long, and that I could get kind of behind the Christmas Day start. But my biggest problem is I think it goes too far into the spring. Like the NBA Finals aren't until June. You know, I mean, it just goes too long into this. So I think if you start it like regular time, they do supposed to do now, and they end it sometime in May. You know, they cut back. I think cut back 16 games. I think is okay. I think you just start at the regular time and you finish earlier.
Now, what is your problem with it going late into the spring?
I mean, it's like, because that's, I mean, for me personally, like, that's when I'm a Mets fan, and up until June is when the Mets are still relevant. So, you know, get into November and October, then I don't have to worry about the Mets.
Right.
But, you know, after that, you know, but no, I mean, I like the NBA like earlier on. So.
All right. Well, we're going to have to agree to disagree on that topic. Let's talk about a big rumor that just came in. Chris Paul apparently is being courted by the Boston Celtics. They're willing to offer Rajon Rondo and draft picks in a trade for Chris Paul. Now, do you think that would be a good move for both teams? Good move for one team? What do you think?
It is a good move, but only for the Hornets, honestly.
Wow.
The way that Rondo looked these past couple of years, last year especially, you know, I mean, I think he is, you know, almost the player that Paul is, and Paul's, I think, is obviously best. I mean, I think we both agree he's the best point guard in the NBA, but I think Rondo's number 2, so I don't think that's a huge difference.
Oh.
Well, I think so,
Oh.
but you know, I mean, he's not as the scorer that Chris Paul is, but you know, I think he has more assists. He does the traditional point guard, I think. But yeah, I realized is that, I mean, a report just came out that Chris Paul said he would not re-sign with the Celtics. So are you going to trade your future point guard and high draft picks for 1 year of a better but not terribly better point guard?
But how long do the Celtics really have to compete for a championship? Kevin Garnett's getting older. Ray Allen is a shell of himself. He's really just a shooter. He has no defense.
Yeah.
Pierce is getting older. Rondo can't shoot, so that's making the defenses focus more on those other guys. Paul, he's not an excellent outside shooter, but he can do it. And you giving Rondo the second best point guard in the league, I think you're forgetting Derrick Rose. Let's not jump the gun there. And Darren Williams has some argument here. But the Chris Paul, if he's not going to sign out, they got to win now. They don't have time to wait for Rondo to develop a jump shot. They don't. They really don't have time for that. With this cast, they need to win now. And the only thing is, Rondo's a great defender, don't get me wrong. Chris Paul,
Yeah.
They don't lose really much of any defense there, and they gain a shooter.
But I mean, do you think that what they're playing for the future? Even Garnett and Allen and Pierce are all retiring next year or two. Rondo's still young. I mean, he's younger than Chris Paul, Paul's young too. But you have to realize the draft picks, the other compensation, they get a lot of money for a chance of having Chris Paul for long term.
You're telling me if the Celtics win the championship that he won't resign in Boston?
If they win the championship.
Well, that's a risk you got to take. If you want to win, you got to take risks. Nobody wins by just sitting back and not doing anything.
Well, yes, but I mean the team the Celtics have now, I think Rondo still has the ability, with the older veterans like like Garnett and like Pierce and like Allen. I think Rondo can still do it, and if they're playing for the future, which you have to. I mean, yes, they're playing for the now, but you still have to have an eye on the future. And I think the trade for Paul, that's a key point. It's a chance. He could leave. He said he would not resign. Then where are you left? Then you're left with nothing.
Well, it's just a report. It's not official. But we're going to have to hit up a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll get into the NFL, which I know a lot of you out there love. So stay tuned. You're watching Laker Debaters on WTOP.